All right, let's have a look at the bracket defense. This is where defenders works in groups of two, where they bracket the first attacker, then release to the second attacker. There's clear communication from the inside, and this will force a constant 2-on-1 tackle situation. So let's have a look at what South Africa does against Argentina. And they do a great job in staying calm. Right, first things first, right off the rock, they decide to bracket the first defender, and now the inside hand has clear comms for them to shift out. Great defensive work there by South Africa. Good vision there by Sneeman to follow around the edges. But as you can see now, again, they're working in groups of two, bracketing the first defender, pushing him to the sideline. Once contact is made, have a good look at what Branko de Priya does. Branko drops into the box position. Now he can cover the blind and the open side, and this releases the first set of players to bracket the first attacker. Now, in this instance, the outside defender actually moved too early, leaving an exposed inside shoulder, but luckily South Africa reconnected and adjusted from there. But as you can see now, they're back in their defensive system. And the first job is to make sure they bracket the first defender. Branko does a good job in isolating and identifying the defender, and this gives them another opportunity to bracket that attack. As they shadow them to the sideline, they're back in the trenches, and they put in a good defensive effort. Again, Branko drops back into the box, and this gives Sneeman the opportunity to release because the blind side's covered. So Sneeman can release, and they can go ahead and bracket the first defender once again. Once that defender is no more a threat, they'll go to the next one. Great inside hunt there by number 3. Great work rate by Sneeman. And eventually, what I like about this is they're hustling high in the sense that now they're smothering the passing lanes and it's forcing a confusion. And it's just a great defensive effort by South Africa. They're staying patient and they're just working the edges and they're working their line speed. Again, just making sure that they have multiple players there in defense. And in this instance, they come up again. Great little line. Great inside comms, and they turn the ball over. Beautiful little flick pass through the legs by Dylan Lates, and they score a well-worked defensive try because they were very patient on defense and worked up pretty well for South Africa. So that's a pretty simple explanation of what the bracket defense is. Hopefully that will help. Please subscribe and then stay tuned for some more.